Okay, so it's the 10th of September here on the Helix Farm. We're stood in a cover crop, which was previously a first winter wheat crop, and combined at the beginning of August. Interestingly, in this field, we've got two separate mixes being grown in this field. If you can remember back to the spring, we made a video where we found some compaction at about 2 inches deep, which was made by the drill during the sort of terrible autumn that we had this year. So the decision was made to put a rooting cover crop, the Maxi rooter cover crop, on the headlands of the field, and then in the middle of the field we've gone with a normal cover crop. So let's have a quick look at the rooting cover crop first. Okay, so this is the Maxi rooter cover crop. This was drilled about the 9th of August, straight behind the combine. And in this mix, it's very similar to our cover crop, Maxi cover crop mix. So there's linseed, buckwheat, phacelia, daikon radish, fodder radish, some brown mustard, hairy vetch, and a little bit of crimson clover. We've got higher inclusions of linseed and daikon radish in here, which is really helping to bust through that compacted layer that we were on about. I dug a few plants up. So these have been in the ground for about a month now, and you can see that the rooting has already penetrated past that 2-inch layer, so it would have broken up that bit of compaction there. And there's a nice bit of rooting going on there with the linseed and daikon radish. We'll let this grow on for another few weeks, and we'll be spraying it off just before drilling. Maxi cover crop, which we've drilled in the middle of the fields. Unfortunately, due to the wet weather, it was delayed by about 2 weeks, so it hasn't been in the ground very long. But as you can see, some of the plants has just started to get their first true leaves on. It's the same mix as the Maxi rooter, but just with different ratios of species. May look quite small, but as we've shown in videos before, it's still rooting quite nicely underneath there, and they're penetrating both vertically and horizontally to structure the soil and create a few drainage channels. There's a bit of canopy on top as well, which hopefully will grow a bit bigger in the next few weeks, which is going to help with protecting the soil and creating a bit of a soil armour. And we'll be spraying this off directly before drilling in the beginning of October. Okay, so here was a second wheat crop, and it's going into a spring pulse next year. We've drilled a cover crop here as well. It's the same mix as the cover crop in the previous field, the Maxi cover, but we've put a higher inclusion of brassicas in this mix, and that's with the idea that it will be grazed over winter by livestock, which will bring an additional income to the farm, and at the same time we'll be protecting the soil. So this will be kept over winter, and will be eaten off, and then any hangers on will be sprayed off and drilled next spring.